Every message is a mystery. Episode 1. So for this episode, it's more of a question than a message in particular. So the question is, what if I did things the other way round for 48 hours? This question is inspired from one of the important questions in life, or in fact life-changing question mentioned by Tim Ferriss in one of his latest books, Tools of the Titans. So a little bit about Tim Ferriss, one of my idols, and his book series on the 4-Hour Team. One of them, the multiple consecutive years bestseller book called The 4-Hour Work Week, with its very famous concept called the lifestyle design. It also talks about outsourcing and many more life hacks and experiments. So let me repeat the question. So what if I did things the other way round for 48 hours? So how this question actually came about? This was back in the year 2000 when Tim Ferriss was struggling in his first job out of college. His job is to sell mass data storage to CEOs and CTOs through methods like cold calling and cold emailing. One day he had a moment of realization on two factors. The first factors being the sales rep from competition companies are working from 9 to 5 p.m. That's a pretty obvious one. And the second factor is that most of the gatekeepers that kept him away from talking to the CEOs and CTOs were also working from 9 to 5 p.m. So he decided for 48 hours he called during 7 to 8 a.m. and 6 to 7:30 p.m. And for the rest of the weekdays, he would just continue to do cold emailing. Boom! And it worked like magic. More bosses directly pick up the phone and leads to more sales. So he decided to make a few other experiments, and this particular one changed him to be able to book more sales appointments. And he was thinking, what if I do things the other way around for the other approaches? So first, he changed the approach for pitching. So instead of pitching, because he is in the technical sales, he decided to study more on the technical portion and ask questions instead of pitching. So he sounded more like an engineer than a sales guy. Boom! His experiments paid off, and in that particular last quarter of his job, he outsold the entire LA office of his largest competitor. So many times when we manage to think differently, we are able to achieve things differently, even better. So here comes the end of the episode 1. So what if I did things the other way round for 48 hours? I hope you learned something from this video, and if you did learn something from this video, please do like the video so that I can do more videos like this, and do write down the biggest learning point into your journal so that you can make use of it in your life. Do comment your different learning experience from this video so that we can all learn from each other. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Every Message is a Mystery, and I will speak to you again.